Hi, this is William Steele with Tech Guy in a Boat, and I'm here today to show you how two products work together and unbox them. We have the YI VR 360 camera, and this one has live HDMI outputs, and it outputs at 4K and HDMI if you get a beta version of firmware from YI. And the other is going to be the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K, and we're going to use this. The reason that I went to try to get this is I do have a 4K capture card, but as many people often say, Blackmagic, and this is an Intensity Pro 4K, I've had for a while, doesn't work with any of the VR cameras that I've tested that output at 4K. 4K seems to be an issue. So for this, we're going to just say bye-bye, and we're going to give this guy a shot and see what happens when paired with the YI 360 camera. And so far, my experience with these guys has been great. So let's do an unboxing here. And I did have an issue originally where the 4K 360 video signal came out a little bit funny, and that it was just a small box on the screen as opposed to filling the entire screen. I sent them an email, and within 24 hours, their tech support got back to me with a beta version for me to test out, which does in fact work well, and you'll see how that works soon. So it comes with the camera. The camera itself has a battery here, so you can just swap out the battery, and you've got your HDMI ports, and you've got a USB-C port and a micro SD slot that you can put an SD card in, and it does need an SD card if you want to record it all. I haven't tested it without the SD card for the live HDMI output, which is via a micro HDMI port. And in addition to that, it comes with a nice little thing to clean the lens, obviously, which every camera should have one. And we've got a tripod it comes with, nothing special, but it does come with a tripod, which most of the 360 cameras that I have found do not. And it's got a wide enough base, so it does actually affix and stay nice and level here. And I like that wide base, how it works. And you can actually get it pretty wide, so you can either go very down low, or you can just bring it up and get a little more height on it. But the legs seem actually pretty sturdy for a camera, or just hold it like that if you want to do some handheld shots. Now, the next thing that we're going to pair this with to make this live capture of 4K work, let's put this aside for a moment, is the Live Gamer 4K by AverMedia. The model number is GC573. And why did I decide to try this out? Well, one, it was reasonably reasonable cost for a 4K capture card, and I figured something that was more gaming-wise would. Let's see if I can get this guy out. It's boxed very well, so we can tap it out like a ketchup bottle. Come out! Get out! In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, this is not cooperating. Gotta shake it like a Polaroid picture, baby. Alright, there we go. Alright, here's our box. And I don't know, I'm doing an unboxing because everybody apparently loves unboxing. I don't know what the big rage is. I really care less to see what these stupid things look like when you take them out of the box. But you're getting the unboxing experience if that's the kind of thing that tickles you funny, or whatever it is that's supposed to tickle you, I don't know. So it's a capture card. It's actually got a pretty good size heatsink in there, and it actually captures not just 4K, but you can capture 4K up to 60 frames per second HDR. There's no other capture card I've found that will do 60 frames per second HDR 4K at less than $300 price point. I mean, the best you can find is maybe a $600 capture card. So I think this is a bit of a hot commodity. I'm probably going to buy a few more of these with this setup, since it seems to work. And the only thing that's a little bit different that I'm doing here is I don't have any desktops. And since I don't have any desktops, I'm going to put this in a external PCI enclosure via Thunderbolt 3. Now I have luckily, so I don't have to buy another one of these. I do have a GeForce GTX 1070 in this already. So we're going to take this out and we're just going to swap it out for the AverMedia card. Now, it would be ideal to actually be encoding with something or the stuff that we're doing, if you're going to do 4K, to have a decent video card. So we'll just be using the onboard graphics of my Lenovo Yoga 720 with Thunderbolt 3. And in my experience, that seemed to actually work okay. It did add a little bit of lag in the encoding process, but I think we'll be okay. Let's just get this twisty screw out. There we go. That is obviously the very technical term is twisty screw, I'm sure. Actually, I think it's called a thumb screw, is the actual term. And let's pull out my GTX and let's put that somewhere in a way that is safe. And so let's put this guy right in here. And come on, buddy, let's go. There we go. All right. And I'll just, sometimes I like to cut corners, but I'm not going to. Let's put that screw in the way that to secure this card in here nicely. Should have maybe brought a screwdriver to help me with this, but a little bit of patience and caution. There we go. All right, it's threaded. All right. So normally you wouldn't use a gigantic box like this. This is the Akitio Node, and it doesn't have. Why are you holding up 2 fingers, baby?
There's only 3 minutes left in the video.
Oh, okay. We didn't go through that protocol. Yes, thank you. My lovely girlfriends, Martha is personing the camera, if we want to be politically correct, I suppose. And yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave the case off so you can see what it looks like when we do this, when we put this up on the big screen. So we're going to hook this up via Thunderbolt 3, and I forgot what I was talking about. But it doesn't matter. It couldn't have been that important if I can't remember. This is what everybody's grandmother tells them, right? All right. So let's go over the computer and connect all this stuff up and see how this goes. All right. Well, now I've got it set up mostly. I've got also my micro HDMI to HDMI cable and my long Thunderbolt cable, which is not that long. It's only about 3 feet because they don't make them that long, but it's about as good as we're going to go. So I've got the camera set up, and I've got the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K set up here too. And we're going to just so maybe plug a few things up. Actually, while we do that, let's start the 4K camera here. I generally recommend starting that up first. I try to plug it in while it starts up, and while it works most of the time, sometimes it decides to do something a little wonky. I guess we can plug in our external PCI box next. Alright, and then put on my power, and let's see what happens. When I plug it in, it should automatically power on, and the PCI Express, oh, there we go to something. And I think we'll have some action. There we go. Alright, blinking red and other random colors. I think that's a good thing. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think well, now it's blinking green. I was going to change colors again. Alright, so the colors mean nothing except to be pretty. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. Alright. And so let's get that plugged in to the HDMI input. Input. Need input. Do you know what that's from? No? It's from Short Circuit. Or no, it's need more input. Alright, now let's plug in the output to my 4K monitor here. And let's see what happens. And maybe let me rearrange things a little bit so you can see what's going on. Alrighty. Put this back here. Excellent. And put that right here. And voila. Nothing. Why is there nothing? My guess is that the monitor's not on. So let's see. And HDMI 2. And nothing. Okay. So why would that be? Oh, wait. No, still nothing. All right, let's try this again. All right, maybe I need to change the inputs. Let's see, which input are we on? Oh, we're on input 1. So this guy is looking at input 2, which was probably why. So let's change to nothing on display ports. Let's go. All right. Are I gonna hit this again? I guess so. Oh. HDMI 1. Come on. There we go. All right, now we've got a signal. Excellent. So, as you can see, this is the camera, and it's in near real time. There's different settings. The stitching lines are actually very minimal. You notice them closer up, which is normal. But overall, I think the stitching quality is quite fantastic. And if I move my hands, one, it's probably, I'd say this is less than a, I don't know, quarter of a second delay right now, which is actually excellent, and the quality looks remarkably well. I'm very excited about the quality and using this in my apps. So now, this is just a pass-through, so really the real proof in the pudding, as they say, is going to be the AverMedia app. And let's pull that up. AverMedia RE Central. And that should bring up a signal. But let's put this down. Alright, come on. I don't want to be in a silly house. Flat. Kind of. Okay. And here we go. So now we've got the RE Central software running. It's at 3840 by 2160. Let's just verify that on the monitor. If I go here and go to my menu, and I go down to information, 3840 by 2160. Yeah, we could give a little close up on that. So we see here, and we're running at 3840 by 2160. You can even see there's a little display on here. It says it's going at 4K 30 frames per second. We're not actually recording. So it actually does an output without any information overlaid over, which is great. And you can see still here on the AverMedia ReCentral software, and I can record. I'm not really sure if with my current setup if I'm just going to be dropping frames or whatnot. But we can look at that another time. I'll stop that, and I will give my production assistant back the camera. There we go. And yeah, so 30 frames per second 4K. It would be awesome if I could get 60 frames per second out of it, even if it can't record. So actually this camera does up to 5.7K recorded. So obviously it's compressed. I'm guessing HEVC. I haven't really looked at the footage with that yet. However, the reason I like the HDMI output, this goes with the HDMI output, I can make sure that I'm capturing uncompressed quality, the highest quality, which probably actually ends up being a little bit better than what you would get at 5.7K compressed, because you're going to be trying to pack a tiny chip in here to do 4K 30 frames per second, and I just can't imagine that I can compete with an uncompressed signal going to some more professional hardware. So there you have it, the AverMedia Live Gamer Pro 4K, along with the YI 360 VR, I think. Can you check the box for me? Nope, it's the white one, the white box. Yes, there we go. Let's get a close up. All right, the YI 360 VR camera. That's what they call it. YI 360 VR camera, and my lovely production assistant and girlfriend Martha, who's kind of camera shy. So I'll take the camera off her. Okay, I'll give that back. So, as I mentioned before, you need a special firmware update to enable this. YI was so kind as to provide me with a beta version right away when I requested it, that enabled the full HDMI output, One thing to take note is if you do actually record on the camera, it does turn on the on-screen display. I didn't see an option to disable that. That might be useful. Not really sure though if you can do that. But it would be nice to be able to, actually for redundancy, if you want to record live video and record to the camera at the same time, that would be a nice feature, so you still have the recorded version on the camera if you get the on-screen display to not show up. So maybe I can get them to provide another version that will allow us to turn that off. That's about it. So thank you for watching this demo. I hope it's useful. If you have any questions, comments, then please leave them in the comment section of my YouTube page. And if you need some Live 360 video production, we're going to be getting a whole setup of 10 of these cameras to do some really cool stuff. So thank you, and have a great day.